a myth that George Washington was the first president of the United States. It was Samuel Huntington. Abraham Lincoln knew it when he tried to bind this nation together and use it as legality. And it's high time he's being recognized today at his re-interment. Now, you ask what can be done about this. I am so glad to pass this banner to the people of Norwich. I've been carrying it for 6 years as a resident of Upper St. Clair, Pennsylvania, named after Arthur St. Clair, who was a president, number 9, of the United States under the Articles of Confederation. It is great to pass this banner. So what can be done? Well, the first thing that can be done is on July 6th, on his birthday, on July 3rd, on his birthday, let's have President Bush amend the presidential order of the laying of the wreath of the presidents and let him include the presidents of the Articles of Confederation so the leaf can be raised just like it is at Mount Vernon and is done with James Monroe and have the presidential wreath laid here on July 3rd. The second thing that can be done is let's get it straight. Delaware is not the first state. Okay? The first state was actually Virginia, but Connecticut was among the 6th that stood up there in 1778, and their delegates ratified the Articles of Confederation, creating the Perpetual Union. Delaware was the 12th. And all those little quarters that they put out, putting Delaware as the first state, we got to change that. Okay? I'm serious. The first state, if you want to call it the first state, 6 states stepped up to the plate and signed the Articles of Confederation together in July of 1778. Delaware held out until the 11th, and that should be changed. You know, especially, you know why it should be changed, and this is what really boggles my mind, is one of the presidents, the 4th president of the United States in Congress assembled, and I wrote the director of the Mint about this when this was all going on, and he blamed Congress, okay, was Elias Boudinot, who was a president of the United States in New Jersey, and he also was a director of the Mint. They actually had a president of the United States who was the director of the Mint, and they're doing this myth. So that's the second thing we have to change. But the most important thing we have to change here, starting right here in Norwich, Connecticut, we have to change the fact that George Washington was the first president. God love you, George. You're a great man and the father of our country, but the facts are you were number 11. And President Bush, you're not 43, you're 53. This is serious. This period of our nation has been lost. It didn't go French and Indian War, Revolutionary War, and then George Washington. Oh, the Declaration of Independence, then George Washington. There were so many great men like Samuel Huntington. Think if Samuel Huntington would have went the way of the former president, Henry Middleton, or Benedict Arnold in that dark day of the Revolution, where would we have been? Heck, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and George Washington, all those guys, they would have been hung. They would have been rebels. It is indeed an honor. And I can't tell you what a great honor this is, to lay a brick at the tomb of the first president. But now it's in your hands. Carry it on. Recognize the man for the great American he was. But most importantly, let's stay with the facts. You know, the Catholic Church got it wrong. In the 6th century, they said Mary Magdalene, right, was a harlot, cast the first stone. It took them 1,400 years to say no. 20th century popes say no, she was not. It's not the same person. Let's not have it take 1,400 years to have Samuel Huntington recognized as the first president of the United States. Thank you very much.
Now listen, we're going to step up. You're all going home. But what we're going to do now is place the last two stones.
Don't forget the benediction.
Right. We're going to place the
Oh, I think this could travel around very easily. These are not documents that you find in most places. The Chicago Historical Society, though it had a huge collection, didn't have the concentration of American documents like you see here. And I know there's more, and this is only a piece of it. And I understand there are collections on the Civil War and women's history and the industrial era. Any one of those is a concentration of documents that you rarely find anywhere except in National Archives, which has more than anybody else.